Last night around here, around where I live, it got below freezing, and there was a little bit of frost on the window. Anyway, I pulled up the window shade, the Venetian blinds, and there was this frost, and the image of a face was in the frost, and it was God, the face of God. He had taken this frost in the window and implanted his face into the frost, and that was him. I'm his prophet, and he has appeared to me in all kinds of ways, and this is just another one. And he said, I kind of was a little bit shocked, and I said, God, right? And the face started talking, and he said, yes, of course, and he sort of chuckled. And I've said before, I think God thinks all these little surprises that he throws at me like that, I think he thinks that they're amusing, and they're just kind of really hard on me. I just find them sort of annoying and so forth. But I don't want to complain. He's God, Anyway, God said, he said to me, I want to set the record straight on how life began on Earth. And I said, you're talking about abiogenesis? And he was not familiar with that term. He says, no, I don't know what that is. And I said, that's the formation, the beginning of life on Earth. And he said, well, I guess I am talking about abiogenesis. And I asked him, I said, is it the same as the other 185 planets around the cosmos that have thinking beings on them, biological thinking beings? And God said, there's actually there's 185 planets. This is what God told me. He says there's 185 planets that have thinking, conscious beings on them, biological beings. Earth being one of them, and the human being that being. He said, but there's actually 8,492 planets around the cosmos that have life. It's just not necessarily thinking type of life. It's more like, I guess, I don't know. I'm assuming it's like plant life or lower levels of animal life. I don't know. He didn't go into detail. That's what he said. But anyway, so I said, well, that's interesting. I said to him, how did life begin here on Earth? I mean, I assume that you just began life here on Earth in some manner. You constructed life. And he said, no. And he was sort of, I think he's getting frustrated by things I take for granted, explanations I take for granted that I get from like the Bible or the Quran or a combination of books, holy books and religious books, because all those books they're always all wrong, and I should learn my lesson, but I haven't. But anyway, he said no, he did not plant life on Earth. What happened was that he made up chemicals and stuff billions and billions of years ago in like what he has referred to as his workshop, and these chemicals went on Earth while on Earth at this particular distance from the sun and the size of the sun and all that stuff, and all the conditions were right apparently for these chemicals to come together and for life to begin. And so he says he was completely unaware that life had formed on Earth until billions of years after life had begun, or at least, I don't know about billions, but maybe millions of years after life began on Earth. Then he was just, traveling around, and he came to Earth. He happened to stop by Earth, and he sees that there's life on Earth, and it was a complete surprise to him. At least that's what he has told me. And I said, well, that's interesting. And he said, once he saw that there was life, that life had begun on Earth, and then he devised the concept of evolution so that the life would become more and more, I don't know, complex, or however you want to phrase it. But anyway, I found that all very interesting, and so I told God, I said, you want me to put that all in a video, I assume? And he said, yeah, Smith, I think that's worthy of a video. And I said, I think it is too, but we'll give it a go, and put it on YouTube. Again, I told him once again, I said, I'm not getting any views and I'm not getting any subscribers, so who knows how long it'll be before all this, gets out and becomes common knowledge. And God just sort of shrugged and said, what can I do? And then this image of this face on the window in the frost, it sort of just, as though the window became warm, and this frost sort of melted, and the face of God just dissipated. And that was it.